from the Kten studios, you're watching Kten News at 5.
Texoma Parkway, the latest road in Sherman. To see some detour signs go up, we'll learn when drivers can expect delays. And an Ardmore man facing charges for felony assault. We'll learn how long he'll be behind bars. That's right now on Kten News at 5. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Alexander Porter.
Glad you're with us. I'm Lisanne Anderson. We begin at 5 with another round of construction for drivers in Sherman this week.
K10's Kennedy Patterson explains what's ahead.
The US 75 project makes its way north. Sherman's Texoma Parkway is the next road up for closures. Detour and roadwork signs stand at the west end of Texoma Parkway, greeting drivers looking to merge onto US 75. The construction behind the blocked off roads expected to last for 2 months, leading commuters to find alternate routes to their original shortcut. The work zones serving as an obstacle for both the people traveling through them and the businesses sitting along their side.
It's definitely affected us in multiple different ways, from obviously customers trying to get to us. It's difficult for tow trucks to get in and out. TxDOT staff say drivers can expect reopenings in late July. Until then, detours using the North Travis exit and Taylor Street frontage road to State Highway 91 are encouraged. In Sherman, Texas, Kennedy Patterson, Kten News.
Well, we've reached that point in the spring where we're just trying to get over that hump. A couple rainy days met by some sunny days, and then it just keeps repeating.
We need to dry out a little, Mandy.
Yeah, I know we all want some sunshine, especially after all the rain and flooding this past weekend. We're not seeing that full sun just yet. That will be in store Friday, but we've got to get through Thursday first and those storm chances. As for this evening, could see a few stray showers, mainly right along the Red River. Still plenty of cloud cover for this evening, and we'll hold on to that for another couple of hours. May pick up a few raindrops from Durant down through Denison and there near Lake Texoma, but into the overnight, severe weather is going to be possible along the I-35 corridor. A low risk, but nonetheless a risk there. Mainly wind and hail as storms arrive 1 to 4 a.m. That main window we're watching for storm activity. I'll have more on what to expect heading into Thursday coming up, guys.
Texas police say gunfire reported near the 1300 block of West Sherman. Happened yesterday. A Lamar County constable saw a crowd of people running. Those people were found at an apartment nearby. Police also found a gun they believe was stolen.
An Ardmore man has been sentenced for felony assault. Richard Allen Chastain will spend 57 months in federal prison for a crime he pleaded guilty to. According to investigators, in July of 2024, Chastain chased and struck someone with a machete at his encampment. The victim sustained several cuts to their limbs and a severed thumb. Chastain will not be eligible for parole.
Senate Bill 1758 finally passed in the Texas House today. That bill is now headed to Governor Greg Abbott's desk for signature. It had been on the Texas House floor calendar since Sunday. The legislation says a seismic study is required before construction of a cement plant in Dorchester.
The Fannin County Courthouse back in the spotlight at this week's Commissioner's Court. Some commissioners would not vote to approve initiating a lawsuit into flawed courthouse renovations. In August of 2023, inspectors deemed the building in imminent danger after restorations were completed in March of 2022.
Every day that goes by, there's less chance of us recovering money. And I find it very difficult to understand why our commissioner's court, why a commissioner would vote against going after monies that could be recovered.
Judge Cunningham hopes at least one commissioner will change their vote against the lawsuit.
Construction underway for Van Alstyne's third elementary campus. The Charles and Beth Williams Elementary will open in the fall of next year. According to staff with the city, the added school will serve the incoming population surge, one study claims. The fourth quarter of 2029. By then, roughly 55,000 people will settle in Van Alstyne.
2 suspects are in custody in connection to that deadly jet ski hit and run on Grapevine Lake over the weekend. The suspected driver of the jet ski, 21-year-old DeCarolyn Alejandra Gonzalez, was arrested along with 21-year-old Michael Coelho Perozzo, who drove Gonzalez away from the scene. According to the acting Dallas Field Office for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, both suspects are Venezuelan nationals who illegally entered the country at some point between 2023 and 2024. It's confirmed both were previously arrested
Both individuals that were previously mentioned here were Venezuelan nationals in the country illegally. And we've lodged immigration detainers with the facility. Once the state of Texas goes through the process and the criminal charges, we'll take custody of them once the state of Texas is finished with them.
In a post to ex-Texas Governor Greg Abbott suggested the death penalty if Gonzalez is found guilty of manslaughter.
Elon Musk sharing his thoughts over President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Musk believes it would undercut efforts by the Department of Government Efficiency. Julia Benbrook has the story.
Elon Musk, who is, of course, a big Trump donor and has been by the president's side as a special government employee for the first few months of the term, is criticizing the president's so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. Musk has notably played a leading role in the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, with the stated goal of identifying and eliminating, quote, waste, fraud, and abuse within the federal government. The tech billionaire is criticizing Trump's massive agenda bill, which the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates would add $3.8 trillion to the deficit, saying he believes it undermines DOGE's recent efforts.
So, I was disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the DOGE team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along. I mean, everything he's done on DOGE gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion.
After intense negotiations, the House narrowly passed Trump's agenda bill last week. Now all eyes are on the Senate, where it faces challenges and potential changes. Republicans have set a goal of getting the bill to the president's desk for a signature by the 4th of July. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Hamas Gaza chief is dead. Mohammed Sinwar was the younger brother of Yoha Sinwar, who plotted the October 7th attack in Israel. Mohammed was elevated to the leader of the terrorist group when his brother was killed. Speaking to Parliament today, Benjamin Netanyahu included Sinwar in a list of Hamas leaders killed in the recent Israeli strike in Gaza.
President Donald Trump is venting his frustration over stalled ceasefire talks between Russia and Ukraine.
This after Russia launched more deadly attacks over the weekend. Lori Aguirre reports.
I think this diplomacy is hitting a bit of a dead end.
Hope for a potential ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia just days ago, now eclipsed by new exchanges of savage drone and missile attacks.
Russia launched the largest aerial attacks against Ukraine since the war started.
He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time.
That was the president on Monday. Today, he was asked if he thinks Russia is serious about ending the war.
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks.
The president says he's cautious about pushing new sanctions.
I think I'm close to getting a deal. I don't want to screw it up by doing that.
Russian sources tell Reuters that President Vladimir Putin is reiterating his demand of no more NATO expansion, and he wants the West to put that in writing.
To assume that he's going to embrace a written accord or a statement from anybody and be a signatory to that is foolish on our part.
Today's events follow an uncharacteristic but escalating war of words between Trump and Russia this week. On Truth Social Tuesday, Trump said that really bad things would have already happened to Russia if it weren't for him, and the country is playing with fire. This morning, a top Kremlin aide accused Trump of not being sufficiently informed about the Russian-Ukrainian confrontation. For his part, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky isn't waiting on the U.S. He arrived in Germany this morning to finalize a long-range missiles production deal, just hours after Ukraine struck Russian drone facilities near Moscow overnight. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Fallen trees from a tornado earlier this month left them barricaded. Now a family in Pittsburgh County able to leave their home finally. We'll tell you who came to the rescue.
We're not done with storm chances just yet. Could see some more into Thursday. We'll have the latest on that coming up next.
Oh, boy. Maybe it's just me. Probably not.
Oh, Bruce Dawsey, what you do?
A little bit of a rough day on the market, a little bit of some red too. Dow Jones down by almost 245 points.
Yeah, NASDAQ down 98, the S&P down about 33.
A North Texas firefighter is recovering after he was hurt fighting flames at a mansion in Fort Worth today. The 10,000 square foot mansion caught fire as storms rolled through this morning. The fire likely caused by lightning. Fort Worth's fire officials say the firefighter suffered minor injuries.
An Oklahoma family can now leave their home after being trapped for more than a week by tornado debris. The Oklahoma Department of Corrections and a crew of inmates cleared numerous downed trees that blocked their driveway. The mom and her 3 kids live in rural Pittsburgh County, which was hit hard by recent tornadoes. Nearly a dozen minimum security inmates were involved getting rid of all the debris.
All a man needs to do is be able to atone, and they've given us a chance to do that. You know, and if you can let a man atone, it really helps him, and we can go back and actually be, you know, good members of society.
Inmates must meet specific security and behavior standards to participate in that work.
Well, when we're in the dog days of summer, I'm sure probably right now is the only time that we wish we had some rain.
Yeah, we need to dry out just a little bit, Mandy. We're looking ahead to a weekend. What do you think?
Well, I think at least Saturday we're going to be okay. Into Sunday, we may see a low storm chance, but Thursday, storms kind of in between us and Friday and the rest of the weekend. Out there today, at least getting some blue sky out of our Sherman Chevrolet Cadillac Tower Cam. Some clouds, they're off in the distance, and then right overhead here at our Denison studios. 77 degrees out there right now, winds about 7 miles per hour. Big picture, storms in northern Oklahoma and storms on the south side of DFW. We have a few spotty showers along the Red River, but overall right now things are on the calmer side. And man, all that rain has caused all of our lakes to pretty much be at a surplus. Hugo is up 17 right now. Pine Creek is up 12. Eufaula is up 10. Atoka's up 2, and Texoma is up 12. Texoma will be peaking into tomorrow afternoon, just a little higher than it is right now, and then starting to drop off going back into the weekend. For this evening across across Texoma, low 70s by 8-9 o'clock with partly cloudy skies. Then late into the overnight, we're talking midnight and later, could see a storm complex arriving with a low and severe weather threat. That's mainly going to be the I-35 corridor that we see storm chances. And then heading into Thursday, right now, level 1 risk for southeastern Oklahoma and for North Texas counties, mainly by the afternoon and evening. Could have a couple strong storms on the way. For the overnight, that midnight through 6 a.m. window, watching the flooding and then quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds, what the main threats would be as these storms move on in. Here's what that could look like. The data's gone a little back and forth here, but after midnight and could be as late as 4, 5, 6 a.m. with those storms arriving here in the I-35 corridor. Those will be falling apart through the morning hours, and then some of the data wants to bring in some stronger thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. This would mainly be a hail threat that we're seeing on the way for Thursday across southern Oklahoma and into North Texas, with a possible secondary round heading into the overnight hours. That would increase the flooding threat through early Friday morning. Friday looks calm after those storms end, and Saturday also looks calm, but we head into Sunday, Monday, more storm chances going to be possible, and overall still an active pattern that we have on the way. Temperature is going to be in the upper 70s by lunchtime tomorrow, topping out the 80s with a 60% chance for some thunderstorms. We're going to be in the 80s both days by this weekend. Future rain could be anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain, with some places locally higher amounts up to 1 inch. As for tomorrow morning, we remain in the 60s. Afternoon high temperatures climbing into the low 80s. And here's a look at that 7-day forecast sponsored by Get Roofed. June starts Sunday, and we warm up heading into next week. Guys.
Authorities in Arkansas looking for a former police chief turned killer. His name's Grant Harden. We'll hear from one of the sisters of one of his victims coming up. It's been 2 days since convicted murderer and rapist Grant Harden escaped from prison.
Now the sister of James Appleton, the man Harden killed in 2017, is speaking out. Katani Gouch has more.
He is just an evil man. It just seems so unreal. I mean, how does this happen?
When Tillman got the call Sunday afternoon of Hardin's escape, she says it took her back in time.
He escapes out of prison, so it's almost like deja vu all over again.
Reopening wounds that hadn't fully healed yet.
It's took me up until this year to drive that road. So now I don't know if I can do it again.
And resurfacing questions that were never answered all those years ago.
He could never give us a reason why this happened. And that's all we ever wanted, was a reason why. Who would have thought, you know, because James was a loving person, and it's not because that he's my brother, but he cared for everybody in the town. I mean, he took care of everybody.
And Tillman's ties even go beyond her family connection with Appleton.
My sister and I was on the council. I sat in that seat, position 5. She sat next to me, and we ended up firing him. It is a little scary for both of us.
It didn't bring up memories just for her, but for everyone.
It's absolutely brought it back to the front of everyone's mind. You know, I think everyone's attention's drawn to it.
Tony Bland was on the call that night in 2017.
We responded to Ganridge Road for a potential homicide. We got there, it was a very horrific scene. Nothing at all like that in the area or in my career.
And says after seeing a scene like that, he understands why people are concerned.
Completely unheard of, not anything that anyone around here has ever dealt with, I don't believe. Of course, it had everyone stirred up, asking questions, having concerns, that sort of thing.
Still to come, over 1 million Ford vehicles being recalled. We'll have what drivers need to be aware of.
And another recall, this one for parents. Macy's recalling some of their infant footsie pajamas. We'll tell you what to watch out for. A new Texas law will require Google and Apple to verify ages of App Store users. Governor Greg Abbott signed that measure into law. It hits the books next year. It is similar to legislation passed in Utah, except the Texas version requires app stores to collect more user data, rather. Stores must also confirm the parent or guardian approving of a minor's app's download has the legal authority to make that decision.
Ford Motor Company is recalling over 1 million vehicles due to a software error affecting the rear view camera. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the issue could cause the rear view camera image to delay, freeze, or not display at all. The recall includes Ford Broncos, F-150s, Mustangs, and Lincoln Navigators. Between the years of 2021 and 2024, dealers are expected to update the software through an over-the-air update free of charge.
Okay, mamas, daddies, grandparents, listen up. Macy's recalling 5 styles of Holiday Lane brand infant-footed pajamas. Staff with the Consumer Product Safety Commission say the retailer received 4 reports of the elastic band being too tight on the infant's little ankles. That could result in chafing and restriction of blood circulation. More than 16,000 of those pajamas were sold in stores and online from March of last year through January.
Coming up just over a half hour on Kten News at 6, a bill intended to protect Texas students against sexual misconduct now awaits the final stamp of approval from Governor Greg Abbott. We'll have more details on that just in over a half hour at 6.
Hey, and what's our forecast going to do? A few clouds lingering out there. What about the chance for more storms? We'll check with Chief Meteorologist Mandy Bailey.
Tonight, our look at a state Supreme Court and how it's using AI court reporters, the new questions it raises, plus the Trump administration's crypto expansion, how his businesses could benefit. All coming up tonight on Nightly News.
And here's a look at that 7-day forecast sponsored by Get Roofed, with temperatures tomorrow staying in the low 80s. We have a 60% chance for storms on the way there during the afternoon and evening. Heading into Friday and your Saturday, sunshine returning. And then by the weekend, June officially starts Sunday, but a 40% chance for storms heading into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Temperatures in the mid 80s going towards the middle of next week. Guys.
We're out of time, but you can always check up on our website, Kten.com.
We'll see you back here tonight at 6.